Hello everybody, welcome back to another Expeditions Guide. Today we're taking a look at Called Before You Dig. This is an expedition in the Grand Canyon. For this expedition we're going to be using the Bandit and the Tatra Force. I also have with me the Mechanic that gives you 20% more or less fuel consumption, just because we have a long way to go. So let me show you what we're going to be doing. We have 5 seismic surveys to complete. So the first thing we're going to do is we're deploying both our trucks in the south outpost. We're going to take the Bandit first, and we're going to head down this way. This is where our first point is, and then we're going to continue along the river all the way up here and across, and over here is where our second point is. And then we're going to go up here, and this is where it gets really tricky, but this is where our third point is. After that, we're going to jump to the Tatra Force and make our way down here and across the river, and then we're going to follow this canyon over to here, where our second point, or fourth point, sorry, is right here. And then we're going to follow this path up here over to our fifth and final location right there. So, a lot to cover today with this one, so let's just jump into it and get started. So, first thing we're going to do with the Bandit is we're going to back up here. And we're going to make our way up here. And we're going to head right up these rocks here to start. And then from here, we're going to make our way down. Right through here. And once we get over here, we're going to make our way through this little swampy area here. And you can see we're already starting to get some beeps because we are getting close to our first location. Alright, so here is where we're trying to go. So we're going to go around this tree here. And we need to climb up this. Getting up here isn't too bad. It's getting down that's the problem. Once we get the point. We're going to head right up here. And we're going to do our seismic survey. Alright, with that taken care of, now we need to back off and get off of this ridge. We're just going to very carefully try to get ourselves turned. And then back just straight off here. Alright, with that done, it is time to make our way over to the second point. And I am using high gear with the Bandit. I use high gear with the high range gearbox with the Bandit just because it is way more efficient. Otherwise, the Bandit does just burn a ton of fuel. Get kind of bogged down in the mud here a little bit. Use some low gear. There we go. And then we're going to continue on our way. So we're just going to follow the lake shore here, up on this ridge. Because we got to get up onto the mountains on the other side. And there's only like one good way up there, so we got to go down a little ways. We're going to very carefully go to the right side of these trees here. And we can head up and over. from here, we can head on down. Go around these trees. And then we're going to go across this bridge. If you don't have this bridge yet, it is 75 spare parts. Just going to go right across the bridge here. And from here, we're going to go right over these rocks. I want to head up over to the right side of this tree. And we're just going to follow this ridge line here. And then here we're going to climb up these rocks. There we go. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the start of the video, I do this all the time, I do have jack screws and anchors in the inventory, and I hope you didn't miss it, but at this point, you're going to want the anchors for this bandit segment here, and even the Tatra Force. You're going to want the anchors. I'm most likely going to be using those to get to some of these locations, just because we do have to go up some pretty hefty climbs to get to these seismic locations, so... Just a little advice, I would absolutely recommend anchors for this one. Alright, so once we make it up that climb, we're going to head on past these trees. Climb up some more rocks here. Come on, bandit. I know you can do it. There we go. We're just going to go across these cracks in the ground here. And here is where things start to get tricky. And it does not get any easier from here. So, first thing we're going to do is climb down these rocks here. And we're going to go to the left here. We're going to stay up on this upper ridge here as we go around these sticks. We're going to go nice and slow. We don't want to tip the bandit over. And then right over here by these rocks, we can go right across. And from here, we can just kind of follow the cliff edge here. And we gotta climb up these rocks here. And right over here is our second seismic survey point. Alright, so with that gathered, we need to go ahead and get turned around. Alright, then we're going to head down across here. And we're going to head back towards where we came from, past those big sticks. So when it comes to crossing back, we do have to go down a little ways here. We got to cross over on these rocks instead. And then nice and easy, because this is kind of a tricky angle here. Just going to crawl up these rocks here by the sticks. And go right on across. I'm going to climb up rocks here. Alright, once we get over those rocks, we're going to climb up to the left here. And this right here is super duper tricky because we want to go up at this straight angle here. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to put the anchor down. We're going to put the anchor right here because that is going to give us a little bit of stability and keep us from tipping to the left. So we're going to be anchored on the right side. And that is just going to pull us right up the cliff there. Alright, once we get to the top, we're going to go around this rock here. Go all the way around the rock. And we're going to head up around this rock. And this right here is probably the most difficult part of this expedition. I don't trust that angle. There we go. Alright, so this is tricky here. So we want to climb up onto this ledge here. And we're going to be at a pretty extreme angle here. So you want to make sure you just stay nice and slow here. Don't drop your tires off the cliff on the left. Just get these on through. Now we start to go up. We want to go up right here. Right there. There we go. And then all we gotta do is climb up the rocks here. And right over here is going to be your third seismic survey location. Right here. Alright, so with those three done, it is time to swap to the Force. And here's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be going across the river and down over here to those two locations that I mentioned before. So, that being said, let's get into it. We got 2 more seismic surveys to conduct. And these ones are a little simpler. Those first 3 are probably the hardest. So if you can get those 3 done, you're pretty much in the clear. There are a few tricky spots trying to get to these next 2, but there's really not anything that's like going to flip your truck over and get you stuck. Well, I mean, I say that, but any of the terrain can flip your truck over and get stuck if you're not careful. So, but it is less risky. I know that those few spots we were going to there, man, those were super sketch. But this isn't too bad here, so we're gonna come all the way around here and up onto this ledge, and then right between the trees, you can see the bridges here. You should have these bridges by this point, by the time you're doing this expedition. But if not, these bridges are 150 spare parts to build, so go ahead, just jump right across the bridges here. And then we're going to make our way down the shoreline. So from here, we're going to head all the way down, kind of over by this tree branch, and then we're going to start our climb up. Alright, once we head on down here, we're just going to follow this canyon. Just following the canyon here. We want to stay to the right side here so we can get around that tree branch. That tree branch can get you stuck. It's kind of awful. So once we get around that, we're going to go right up the middle here. Once we squeeze through there, we're going to head on down here. And we're just going to go up and over these rocks here. Climb on down, and then we're going to head up through the rock pass here by this tree. Squeeze through here, and we're going to go over to the left here. And from here, we're just going to follow the path down. And we're going to go to the right side of these trees here. And then to the right side of this big cluster of trees. If you go to the left side of the trees, you can't get through here. They're just too dense. I mean, they don't look like it, but it's really tough to get the Tatra through that cluster of trees, just the way they're placed. So anyway, we're going to go right through here. And right down here is going to be our 4th seismic survey location. Go ahead and get your survey in. And this next part is probably the trickiest bit of this route down here, and we got to climb over these rocks. So I'm actually going to preemptively pressure down here, give us the most traction we can to get over these. And even that is just barely enough, as you can see, so we're going to once again throw another anchor down. With that anchor, that is just going to pull us right over these rocks here. Alright, once we get over the rocks, go ahead and throw the pressures back up. And we got to go through another little tight passage here. We're going to go ahead and squeeze right on through. And it is starting to get a little dark, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to morning so you guys can see a little better. And we're going to go right up these rocks here. And we're going to head to the right. We got to climb up some more rocks over here. And once we get over those rocks, we're going to head to the left here. And now we get a little bit of a breather from rough terrain, all that rock climbing and stuff. We got some little flat areas to drive over here. It's not too bad, but a little bit of a break from the stressful, challenging terrain. But then the terrain's going to hit you over the face with a brick when we get up here, so, you know, you'll see what I mean when we get here. See what I mean? Come on. Flip over. Keep going. Nope. Okay. Just make sure we're good here. There we go. Alright. See what I mean? It gets much more challenging down here. But the hardest is yet to come. So we're going to go around this crack and up and over these rocks. We gotta make our way downhill. So we want to stay to the left of this downhill segment because we want to get across that gap there. Make our way down, and we want to come at it at this angle here. We want to get the tires to grip on this stuff right here. Come on, this worked before. There we go. We'll use this tree. That's going to kind of pull us up. Oh, there we go. It's all about getting the positioning done. So once we get the tires up on the rocks, then you can climb up. So it might take a little bit of positioning, but once you get those tires to grip on the rock, you can climb right on up and over. And then we're going to go around this little stone totem guy. Kind of in the way, but there we go. Right on through. And then we're going to go up and over this gap here. And right here is going to be your final survey location. So with that, that is Call Before You Dig completed. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.